Oil change time. We got 2 Yanmar, 3 GM30FK diesel engines. They're 3-cylinder, 27 horsepower each. What we need, here, take a look. There it is. What I got is an oil transfer pump, electric pump. Something to put the oil in to pump it into. A new filter. 3 quarts of, I only use like 2.5, but it says 3. I gotta only get 2.5. 15 W40, heavy duty for diesel engines, diesel and gas. It says. I use this for a filter wrench, but you can use a strap wrench if you need it, and a funnel. And I use a small bowl to catch the oil from the filter when it's removed. So step 1, pump the oil out. This is where people are going to yell at me. I don't run the engines prior to pumping the oil out to warm it up, to make it more viscous. I pump longer knowing that all the oil is in the sump. So that's my way. That's how I do it. It takes a little longer, but again, I know I get a little more thorough. Everything's out. Everything's been draining for like 2 days. So last oil change, I put in cleaner. So the additive, you add it to it, then you run it, and it kind of cleans all the lines out. This time, just straight oil change. Pull out the dipstick. Oh, I don't have a rag. Put in the drain. Make sure it's all the way down in the sump. So I connect the positive to the positive on the starter to get 12 volt, and then ground it out on the engine. Like I said, it's going to take a little longer due to it's real thick right now because it's not warm. And again, I just feel that I get a better oil change. I don't have to run additional oil through the engines, which is another way to do it. Warm them up, run it, put a quart of oil, maybe a quart and a half, like half full, run it, pump that oil out, but I have exactly enough to do an oil change, so we're gonna let that run. And pumping out of the dipstick hole into the oil filter. It's pretty easy, spin on. I use a wrench to loosen it up. Put a bowl underneath to catch the extra oil. And again, I let it drain for quite a while. Just to make sure I get a complete drain. I use the wrench to loosen it and a bowl to catch the drippings. A little oil on the O-ring. It's pretty oily, but and then you want to make sure your finger tight this bad boy on, so it's not cross threaded. Goes on super easy, and once it's tight, I put a mark where I can see, and I try and get that mark back to that position here. And I usually have to use the wrench because now I'm covered in oil. I don't know what I did with the wrench. So no, I'll just hand tight. It's a little too slippery to hand tighten it. And bring my mark all the way around. It's pretty tight at that point. So 3/4 to a full turn. That's pretty snug. What I'm going to do is change the oil rag directly under it. And I'm gonna use this to clean up. And once we run it, we put oil in it, I'll come and pull this rag out, and if it has any drips on it, I know the filter is leaking and needs to be tightened. So always change out your rag under your filter to indicate if you have leaks or not. I filled this jug up from another larger one, about like in the 5 gallons. And you can see it's at 3 quarts. Again, 3 quarts is over full, I found, to start with. So I'm at 2.5. I have the new filter in. And then I'm gonna run it, and then I'll come back and top up. And this is the only actual good oil I have left. I wonder where that's at. See, it's halfway already between the marks. It's not that low. I like to get it right, try and get to the top, but without going over. These things fill up quick. Pretty amazed that it's only like 3 quarts, about 3 quarts in this engine. In our generator, 1 quart of oil. I was like, oh, it's got to be at least 2. Nope, it's 1. So I don't like overfilling, because then I have to do the whole thing again and pump out. Then you pump too much out, and so it's between the marks. I'm going to run it, get the oil and engine temperature up, make sure everything gets full, including the filter, and then come back and check them. Make sure they're full. Pretty easy. Best thing I can say is take your time, nice and slow, or you're going to make a mess. One step at a time, clean up, one step at a time, and then afterwards, go and remove all your little toe prints all over the decks.